Let me do this. All right, hey, hello everyone. I'm so excited to have Michelle, Murshidah, and Naama here today in my Partner podcast launching. It is amazing conversations that you're gonna listen to all great coaches who have done it, who have been to the next level of success themselves, and we will be able to share how we ignite our passions and really find the purpose in whatever we are doing right now. Um, we are all coaches. However, it just doesn't tie back to just coaching. It's really about how you run the business, how you build up on your project, how you discover what you really want in life. And I hope that this conversation would enlighten you, awaken your passions, and really help you move to the next step in your um, journey. So welcome, Michelle, Murshidah, and Naama to the conversation.
Thank you, Mai.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, so just a little bit, can each one of us introduce a little bit about ourselves? So you already know me, everyone know me. My view is empowerment coach, and my gift is really about helping women tap into their hidden potential and manifest big success without working a lot more and pushing forwards. And I'm very blessed to have in partner podcast last season's 50,000 downloads. It's amazing in top how to in many countries without me even like planning for it. So it's a real a manifestation for me. And working with this amazing woman also another dream came true for me. So please go ahead and introduce yourself. And we can start first with Michelle and then Murshidah and Naama.
Okay, hi, hello everyone. My name is Michelle Horn. I am originally from Malaysia, but I'm currently living in Singapore. And for the past 8 years, I've been building my online business from home. My story really started because, I didn't want to leave my children at home and go back to work. And so I started my humble blog and turned it into more than $500,000 of businesses today. And yeah, so so my passion is around helping moms who are just like me, who are just like we had to choose between career and family, and if you want to start a business from home, it's absolutely possible, and I think that's would give us the best of both worlds. That's it from me.
Yes,
Over to
so
Maria.
amazing. What about you, Murshidah?
Hi, everybody. My name is Murshidah, and I'm the co-founder of Love and Respect Transforms Holdings. I am currently based in Kuala Lumpur, while Michelle is Malaysian. I'm Singaporean living in Malaysia right now. And I have started my business for more than 20 years, but more recently, the work that I do right now is helping business owners to scale up, to get to at least 5,000 to 20,000 within 90 days, and also create a social impact at the same time. So it's about creating profits with purpose, do good through the work, through your business, and through your message. And I'm very grateful to be masterminding with Mai since last year we met and we masterminded last year with Mai, and I'm very proud of your podcast growth and the number of downloads that you got. So congratulations, Mai, and I'm very proud of you, and I'm very proud to go on this journey with you as well.
Oh, thank you, love. I'm so grateful for you as well in my life. And we have, last but not least, Naama, which is amazing girlfriend that I got blessed to know as well. And some of my clients got to work with her privately in one of our advanced classes. But please introduce yourself again here, Naama.
It's so good to be here, Darlene. You always catch me from a different place in the world. So I'm what you call your global woman, global trotter. I'm originally from Austria, but I live all over, and these past years it's between the UK and the Mediterranean. So right now I'm in England, and it's really good to be here. So I'm a clinical trained psychotherapist. It's what I've been doing for the last 25 years. And I also work with consciousness studies. I've been working with the Defectual First Center, and I'm a creative entrepreneur. I do art and photography for the passion of music industry. And what I feel passionate about is really combining I love together in order to help creative entrepreneurs in their journey to have more success in their businesses, to work through blocks that they have, and just, take their business to the next level. I'm so happy to be here, and we're also proud of you, honey.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for making your time here, Nama. I know it's 7 a.m. in the UK and it's not easy to wake up to just like show up and be fabulous like this. So I really am grateful for all of you. So without further ado, let's go into our conversation today. It's a little bit bumming that I can't live because I know the live stream would really create this amazing vibe, but I think we all always can celebrate whatever we have in our hands, and this conversation is needed to be listened to not just now one time but like again and again if anyone would want it to ignite their passions, because we were in the position where we didn't have that privilege of extra money or extra time. Like Michelle started when she had kids already. Murshidah also, she didn't have money. I one of her podcast interview, I interviewed her last season, talking about how she manifested her first $500 when she moved to KL, I think. And Naama also went into this business without like being in the best physical health and anything that is readiness. So ready is truly a liar. So I would love to ask each and one of you, every one of you, to share with us what was the key moment to really ignite you on this path, like to really have you see, oh, I need to do this, I need to follow this passion, so I need to fulfill this. What is that moment for you? We would have maybe Murshidah first.
Thank you, Mai, for this this very good, important question. Yeah, actually, I manifested from 2 ringgit to 20,000 in less than 2 weeks when I was in Kuala Lumpur, and that's equivalent to, for those people not sure about the currency rates, it's 50 cents to 5,000 US dollars in less than 2 weeks. Yeah. So what got me, it's actually what I realized at that time. Now I really know that for sure, right? But at that time, I didn't know that I was actually sitting on resources that I already have. So those are things that, you know, I took for granted. It was just there. I didn't use it. But when push comes to shove, when, you know, we were going to be, if we don't do anything about it, we're going to be homeless. And I had a 6-month-old baby, and with 2 ringgit, what can I do, right? And I can't depend on my husband's pay that was not paid. Actually, no salary was given during the time when he was working. So we've got to do something to take action, otherwise we'll be homeless. So that, for me, that ignited that path to my passion. It wasn't my passion at that time. It was something like a why, a big why for me. It's like, you know, I was looking at my daughter and I said, I'm going to keep this family together, and I've got to make things. I felt that need for, you know, I want to create this life in Malaysia, you know, without splitting the family. And I wanted to be able to find a place that is safe and not some dodgy place that I'm going to stay in. And, you know, I envisioned all of that. And I said, this is actually for my daughter. And that was when, you know, first thing that I felt was gratitude, especially when I discovered there was food in the house I was staying in, because I didn't know, like, oh, I'm going to starve and all that, right? So when I saw food, I'm like, yeah, we're not going to die. I'm so happy. And that moment started to open the channels of abundance for me, one after another, where I realized that, you know, the things that I already have, the networks that I already have, that led me to do the work that I do right now, brought me money. And it was like $5,000 in less than 2 weeks, which was a big amount of money at that time. And that was how I started my business. Yeah.
And wasn't that the moment you really bring that value into your business, not just earning the money, but also bring back some value to other people?
Absolutely. It's the why, but that was not how I started. All I did at that time was to help people discover their excitement, their purpose, their self-development, you know, forgiveness and all that. And as I moved through my business, and that's where it has brought me to where it is right now, which is leaving a legacy, I have felt that, okay, so what? I've got the money right now. I've got the nice place, the house, my daughter's going to private school. We have all this good stuff. And then what else? Looking around me. And I said, you know, it's one thing to feed my family, but how is it like if I could feed more families? How would it be like if I could help more people discover these things? And that was where it has gone right now. It is not just about helping people to make money as well, but it is helping the people in poverty, like the refugees here in Malaysia, the low-income migrant workers here, to be able to discover that there is a way out, because I started from nothing as well, right? Yeah. So there is a way out for you to create a great amount of lifestyle and wealth with whatever you already have. It's just to know that and how to use it and to discover it. Yeah.
I really hear you, and I totally agree. I think our path is very different to start, but it's come from the pain and really like center back to we need to feed our family first, right? That was the first need to be filled, and then it would lead to the next step. So, what about you, Nama? What was that moment that shaped that purpose of the path for you?
I think for me, it was more than one moment. It was more like a process, going up a ladder, because since I was 2 years old, we moved around the world. And one thing is, it seems like a very glamorous thing to do, but when you have to change culture, language, schools, you have to get adjusted all the time. It's not, a picnic. It's not a walk in the park. And, it was a requirement because of my late father's work when I was a child, and you get all the benefits from it. But I learned to have like a strong personality and be adjusted. And yet it doesn't really, I think the thing is, I realized after years that it does make you strong, but it doesn't necessarily make you confident. It makes you adjustable.
Yeah.
It makes you be able to cope with stressful situations, which is like a muscle that you tame, but it doesn't mean that the trauma or, some of the hardship or, struggles that you go through, they don't just disappear. And as you've mentioned, I've been through a lot of like physical, let's say, issues these last years due to a car accident. And I used to dance professionally, and it completely changed my life. It changed my diet. And when they tell you you're not going to be able to walk necessarily, or you're going to have trouble. And, you wake up with a pain at night. And I said, that's just not something that I'm willing to accept. But I think the real transition for me, and it's something that sometimes I'm still working on. And like you said, I am a master manifester. And this is something that I'm very proud of, because it's something that I just feel like I know, that I can do this, is that no matter where it is, like you said before, we were supposed to be right on Facebook Live. And one thing I think that people have a tendency to do is get stuck on the how. Like very much stuck on the how. And this is like what procrastinates, the brain, and gets us stuck into a phase of thinking. I heard someone mention once a very good example, saying that when you go into a restaurant, first you have the starters and then the main course and then dessert, if you're really going to have like a full meal, right? But what happens if you have dessert first? Is that like a sin? Is that a crime if you want to eat dessert first? I mean, you're Asian, you know that in Asia, many times people eat fruit with rice in the same plate. So what's wrong about that? But it's just kind of, no, this is the way it's supposed to show up. First comes the starters. And I think that this is what happens with us. And I really loved how resourceful you were, Maya. And you just, you didn't freak out. Some people would and say, oh, we can't do this. But you said, no, it's the same. We're going to record it. It's God's blessing. And we're just going to see where it leads. So I think for me, when I focus on the how, or when I focus on how I'm going to get through it, it's when I get stuck. And then I realized I don't need to know how. I'm not God. I have no idea how, but I know that universe has more options than I could possibly imagine. So one thing I have straight is that somehow, some way, no matter what, this is my destination. I'm already in my destination. Now let's see how universe kind of fills in the gaps. And this is how I managed to avoid surgery just a few months ago. Well, now 2 months ago, I said, you know what? I'm available to the option of not going through this. I think I'm going to be able to make it. And the doctor said, how? I said, I don't know how. It's in the making. We're going to figure it out now. And, I also think when I work with entrepreneurs, it's the same, because I get clients that already have, let's say, they already have their businesses. They've already made some money. But then after a while, especially when you're a creative entrepreneur, something that happens with creatives, it's kind of like you're sitting there and thinking, well, what the hell next?
Yeah.
I've already been there. I've already done that. What's the purpose of this? I don't know who I am. Should I reinvent myself? What's the point? You get to this place where it's like, what's the point? And sometimes it's just kind of envisioning yourself in this place, having no idea how you're going to get there, right? And just kind of trust in the process that you're going to be manifesting in steps anyway, organically, because this is how it is, but you don't have to know them. You can try to plan them, but you know what they say about people planning and how God laughs at your plans, and And I'm talking about God in a very spiritual way. You're not necessarily in relation to one religion or another. It's what God is, you know? So I guess this is my motto. This is how I go. There's a little planning, but I always leave space. I always leave room for universe to intervene and to kind of take me to the next level, because I'm going to be going through levels, but I don't need to know everything ahead. Yeah, I just don't need to know that. And once you let that go, it's not the easiest thing to trust. So it's just about being open to it, being present to it, and just saying, let's see. And I'm sure lots of people, lots of wonderful ladies from your community are going to be watching this afterwards and getting takeaways from it. And who cares if we weren't alive, you know?
Yeah.
We're doing this and we're here for you to answer your questions, and this is what matters.
My God, like Naama, I have chill all over me, because I really get how you say when we are creative entrepreneur, because I work with energy, like I cannot do anything that I'm not excited about. I just can't. Like I think Michelle and Murshidah is great with that, but I can't. Literally, I have to have the excitement. I have to have that happiness, that joy to really do something and to really create something. And I was in the zone a couple of days ago. It's like, all right, so what's next? Because I already gone through whatever was my level, and I am happy with that. I was so celebrative that, like last month, I just spent a whole month celebrating that. But this time it's like, what's next? And I go right into how, right? Well, what's that? Tell me exactly what the step. But then only today I realized, hey, universe would co-create with me, and I'm in the next level up, but I'm in this beginning. And I'm about to step the next step, and it's dark and it's not clear and it's not easy to see. And I don't even see what's next for real here. But I'm sure universe send me the best. And this mantra I pray today, Naama, you are my people, because you really speak to me. I literally told universe, hey universe, I've done my best, finish the rest. I'm leaving the space.
Take the load off.
Yeah, I'm finished the rest. I'm leaving the space here for you to pay me well, for you to give me the compensation, because I'm giving away so many energy, and I'm doing the 7-day courses live next week to any podcast reviewer. It's a lot of energy and work, and that is what I really receiving here. Like I love that. So what about you, Michelle? So we have already family. It's the first point, and we have Naama with this trusting and not needing the how. What about you, Michelle? What would you add to this conversation?
I think it's a great conversation, right? I mean, like, how do you find out your passion? I think everyone got asked that. Everyone feels like, oh, you have to, if you are successful, you need to be working your passion. If you told me, like, 8 years ago that I'll be doing this, I'm telling you that that's crazy. That's exactly, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I would even enjoy teaching and talking about business and digital marketing and all that kind of stuff. But then, you kind of like fall into it. For me, it was more like, it come from a very selfish. It's definitely not as, as like legacy and help people. And like, Murshidah is so inspiring. But mine was just really, I'm just stuck at home here with a newborn. I don't know what to do, right? And I can't stay just being 100% reliant financially on my husband, even though we're comfortable, right? We're comfortable. I don't need to work. But then it's just that inside of me, like, we're women, we've spent so many years studying, and then we've been earning our own income, to suddenly, putting all my future, my financial future on someone else. It just felt really scary to me. So for me, it's like, I think that's that line, right? Most of the time when people are comfortable, they're in a place of comfort, then they just stay, okay, this is good enough, right? But I'm always afraid of being too comfortable, that I'm not moving just slightly past my comfort zone and just go for what I think I'm more afraid of not fulfilling my potential than failing. So I'm always like, my story. I told you, how my mom passed away really young. So I'm using death as like a scare tactic. Like, our life is short. Are you living your full life to just go for whatever it is that I want to do? So I had no idea how I was going to start. And I saw some friends, at that time starting some mommy blogs. I'm like, maybe I could start that. And I still remember my husband asking me, you writing? I'm constantly correcting your grammar, right? My English is not great. So yeah, so one thing led to another, and I discovered that the first time I suppose I discovered my passion is when I started coaching other moms on, people start asking me, so how did you start your business from home? How do you manage it all? Then I find that even though I'm really tired, but as soon as I start sharing, and then especially when they come back and told me that, they've seen results and all that, it's just fire me up. So that's why I could still, host coaching coaching sessions late into the night. I'll be like, oh my god, I'm so tired, but I have to do this. But as soon as I get started into it, I'm just like, I'm full of energy right now. So I think passion is something that you can't just sit there and go, where's my passion? What's my passion? You kind of have to just fall into it, just keep going, and then eventually you get that. It's in the doing, and when you become good at something, it becomes your passion. Right? I think you can build on passion, and rather than thinking that it has to come from innate. It has to be like one day you woke up, oh, I found my passion. It doesn't work that way for me.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't work that way. And thank you for sharing your story again. I'm sure everyone here would be, I think, would be awakened again to realizing our time is so short. Like comparing to century of thousands of years, and our time is like this.
A blink, right?
Yeah, like a blink.
Yeah.
And how come we wasted one day, 1 year into this pain or into this comfortable? Because I'm sure comfortable is settling. If you're comfortable is settling, if you don't take anything tomorrow exciting or even today exciting and scary at the same time, you are settling. And there's nothing wrong with settling. This, I think, it's individual choices, but I'm sure everyone who will listen to this podcast are ambitious and they don't want to settle for less than what they know in their heart that they deserve. I believe that everyone in us have this little girl who know in their heart, like, I will be famous like that someday. I will be speaking on stage someday. I think Michelle shared with me the other conversation. She knew that she would be an entrepreneur even when her mom didn't model that, and she was really young. And me also, like, as I was a baby, I already knew that I'm going to be kind of like, I'm going to be in the spotlight somehow. And the funny thing was, I would try ballet, I would try singing, and never be in the spotlight, And I thought that I would never be an important person until I really have to take this coaching business. Then, because I have no option, like I have no option. My life was total breakdown. I was having a 6-month baby, a mental health broke down. No one around me support me, kicked out of my house by my own parents. I can laugh at it right now, but it was really miserable at that time. And I realized that, all right, now if no one give you the spotlight, you have to make your own and just take up the challenge and go with the flow. Because when it is too down, the only way is up. The only way when people are down is up. But I'm here to say, you don't have to wait until you break down to find your passion, to find your purpose. I would advise myself to save time by doing everything purposefully. Like, what is the meaning? Why am I writing this? Why am I posting this photo? Why am I sharing this song? Maybe it's not your song, but you find it meaningful. Why am I sharing that? Who do I want to help? Or do everything with a purpose, and you will soon find something that really excites you. I love Michelle example as well, because me just recording a podcast just like half an hour ago, and I told everyone I feel really tired, but whenever I put on my podcast recording or coaching, I'm like excited and energized right away. And there's like an activity where it's really drain you, and there's activity that really recharge you. So when you go into your day, really look for what activity really recharge me and energize me, what activity drain me, because the one that drain you is not definitely your purpose, and definitely not your passions. But look into the one that really give you energy, because that maybe the path to lead to that destination that you're looking forward. I think that is for me. So we come into this second questions. What do you right now in these positions? I'm sure every coaches here already have built the audience to a certain level, have the financial miracles in a certain way. So I would love for you to share with the audiences, when you are in the zone where you have your purpose, you have your passion, you have your profits, what would that relationship look like between three elements: passion, purpose, and profits? Anyone would want to come first?
I would say passion, purpose, and prospect, you called it?
Profits?
Profit. Okay, sorry. It's
No
the
worries.
audio here. Well, it kind of, I think, zones on the same kind of level. And it's kind of like what I was saying before. I think that as we go in life, many times, I would speak for myself, people ask you to choose. Like for me, one thing that was very clear, although I was, moving around and perhaps having a little bit of instability, was that, I come from Austria. You need to have a career path. You need to have one thing. And, you see some people, and bless them, they work in the office from 9 to 5. And I'm saying this, with all due respect, bless them, because some people are really made for that. They thrive on it and it's perfect for them. But we're not all built like that. We're not always set, from the day we were born to do one thing, to work in job number 2 and to get the salary number 3. And that's it. And like I said, bless all the people that feel very aligned with that. You can do also other things, but I think for me personally was that I couldn't choose, was that I liked more than one thing, was that I wanted to focus on more than one thing. And it's something that, entrepreneurs do. And once you really get it into your head, into your mindset that you are an entrepreneur, that you can do more than one thing, that an entrepreneur has more than one baby naturally. Like you said, it's mostly about making those choices about what causes fatigue, what really raises your energy level, what coincides. And it's about kind of like creating your own path, whether you call it entrepreneurship or not. Whatever you want to call it, you can create your own career. And then, for me, the profit aligns when you're really in your spiritual place. Like I said, you don't really have to know the how, but when you're really doing something that comes out of your heart, that comes out of your guts, even, it's coming to you. And then the action steps that you're going to take are just the ones presented to you. And it's all about acting on it. It's about, not staying in the sides and still waiting to see, oh, but this is not a traditional career, but this is not what people do, but this is not, how it's dictated. I was supposed to study one thing and then go to school and then work in this thing and work in this office all of my life, or, find a little job or do something. And I think that it's when we grow, we get overwhelmed, and it's kind of like, whoa, how am I going to do this? How am I going to profit from it? But really, like you've said before here, darling, how do you get from 50 cents to, I don't know how much?
5,000.
5,000, my goodness. It's like, you don't know that. But this is what I'm trying to say about profit. I think that if you had 50 cents in your wallet, and then I tell you, let's think about 500, it's going to be a bit difficult because you've never done it before. Or if you have 500 and I'll tell you, let's think about 2,000, it's going to be a bit difficult because you've never seen it. And so on, going up to 2,000, let's talk about 1,000,000. It's still going to be hard. But if you've already seen 1,000,000 and I tell you, okay, let's think about 50 million, you still haven't seen it. But since you've done something around that energy, it's going to be easier to conceive. It's almost like, I'll give you a very basic example from psychology. If I tell all of us, let's think about a lemon now. We've all had the experience of a lemon, right? So we can think about the yellow skin, the smell, the sourness, the white part of the lemon, which is bitter. And I mean, your taste buds are already working in your mouth. Your brain does not distinguish between having the experience of a lemon live and thinking about a lemon. The same areas in the brain light up. So it's the same with, let's say, success or money or career. Once you've done a step, it's very easy to imagine, to work on your imagination and say, okay, I don't still have the 50 million, but I've seen 1 million or 2 million. So yeah, it's doable. I will make it happen because I've seen the process. But I think the challenging thing is when you haven't had the experience of lemon. Have you tried giving lemon to your baby Claire once, like the first time to your children, to see their
She
face?
ate it right away at the first time. She didn't even like hesitate.
So some kids, they love the taste, but mostly you see their face going, this is sour. What is this? What are you giving me, for the first time? And I think that this is how it's like with our career. So it feels scary because it's sour and it's like the first time and you're thinking, how am I going to make this money? But you can rely on your imagination. You could meditate into it. And I'm not saying you don't have to have a business plan, okay, as we go, but a business plan without a mindset is really nothing. Like girls, that the main thing is the mindset, is getting adjusted to the lemon. And then after you've eaten lemon 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, you will know the right doses. So you don't have to squeeze a whole lemon into your food, maybe just a little bit, maybe just a sip into your tea, maybe just a bit of seasoning to your salad or to your food, and that's fine. We know what to do with it, but you don't understand the doses until you've gone through it. And then it gets easier and easier to imagine how to use that lemon and just have your business align and grow, through these steps, basically. So then the envisioning of the next steps becomes easy. Like you said, even if I can't see it, but I've already done something. I've already had season 1 to my podcast. Okay, universe, bring it forth. Let's see how the next season is going to unfold. And those taste buds are going to be, working out in my spiritual mind, and it's just going to happen.
I love that spiritual preaching, Naama. I understand all of that, but if anyone here haven't been able to get all of that in, I would recommend you to listen to that part again, because whatever she was saying was really, really deep in many levels to me. I really, really get that, because she have a background about psychology and also spirituality. So like, it's really beautiful how she used the example in the stories. And I do know that when you have a taste of profits, you would be able to do it easier again. One of the example I really see in myself was you have to feel really safe about money to actually make your purpose profitable. Because even if you have a purpose and you have a really good, amazing drive around it and you have a good courses, you wouldn't be able to make the money yet, even though you have spiritual connection and meaning. If you don't feel safe around it to receive it, like the ability to receive is really, really important as well, to make it purposeful and profitable. That is for me. So what about you, Murshidah? I think Murshidah. I was like knocking. What about you, Murshidah?
Michelle and Murshidah comes together. It's like Michelle, Murshidah. Okay, so yeah, thanks. I'd love to pick up on what Naama said just now, because I remember we said about this yesterday when we were doing the joint huddle. It is like when you can recognize a certain amount, then you go with that first, because it is for you to go, because that is exactly how I also, when I coach my people, because I have that benchmark 5,000 to 20,000 US dollars a month. And for some people, it's just not in their reality. But lip service wise, they say, yeah, I want $1 million. I'm like, okay, like, so what is, how much money do you want to make? Oh, I want to make 20,000 in 90 days. And then when I ask them how much money are they currently making in their business, it's not even hitting 5K, and it's like 3,000 ringgit and all that. So I'm like, okay, let's work on one step at a time. Let's break through and get used to a certain amount. And then we move on to that 5K. So it becomes familiar, and they accept it and everything. And that is exactly it, is that strengthening that muscle. And, when it comes to your question on the, like how I manifested 5,000, because I've had that experience before in the past, only because when the time when my business failed, I went into this like sort of depression, and I didn't want to do business anymore. And I'm like, I just want to make babies, that sort of thing, like, oh, that kind of feeling that you're just not worthy. So that was what I was sitting on for 2 years, not doing anything. But I recognized that, I've made big money before, only I was not forgiving myself for the last business failure. So when I got over that, it was a lot more easier. It was at ease, because it was something I recognized. Now, your topic on, I love that question on passion, profit, and purpose. For me, what drives me first is that purpose, like that intent first. and it's partnered with passion. It has to be exciting. I mean, you can have a purpose, but it feels heavy, like, oh, I've got to do it. It is my responsibility, or I cannot live with it. You know, it's you're not gonna make it happen. You know, it's gonna be a struggle, and it's
we
not
have to
fun.
find some sort of like a really bite-sized purpose, right? Like if you want to feed 1 million people right now, for me it's like no. But if I can help 10 women, it's the right purpose for me.
Yeah, exactly. And that was how when I stepped into that passion, that it's exciting, it is fun. And you know, that is why I know my target market, the kind of people I want to work with. Even with the marginalized groups, I could see a certain kind of person that says, yes, I no matter what, I want to get out of this, you know. How do I do it? So that kind of drive, and I see that, and it excites me to coach them. That's where profits come in. It's become effortless, you know. And when I see people succeed and they do the same thing and they create their own impact, that is where I felt that was a bigger impact than me trying to motivate and change 1 million person's lives at one time. I've done that before, where I had like seminars after seminars doing, you know, I invite experts to speak to 300 people in one room, and maybe one person actually became successful in that, until I worked on leaders and the people who will step into their leadership and will create those changes themselves. That's where I got excited. So, and I saw the money comes in with when there's a you know, money comes when money goes where there's a purpose, right? Yeah. So when I'm purposeful and I'm high energy and having fun and passionate and doing things that I love, and with people that I love as well, and that is where the profits come in. It's at ease. It's ease.
I love that, because I experienced the same thing as well. We usually start the business and say, hey, where's the money, right? We go to that profits first. Like we look into the client, like who's going to sign up, what will be my next client. Yesterday I have an experience. I was in a connection call. I didn't even try to sell her. I just wanted to figure out what she's doing. She's one of my friends. And she was like, at the end of the conversation, she was like, how much is it to work with you, Mai? Like, how can I get into like working with you and all of that? And I was like, but I'm not sure I wanted to take you in yet. Like, just go to these courses first. You're not ready. I mean, like, and the more I say that, like, hey, I'm not willing to take you in yet, the more she wanted to be in my private coaching. You know, like it was so different when I started as a business 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was chased after people. I was like messaging people, was like, hey, please sign up so that I feel good about myself. But yesterday I saw a very different version of me, who was, all right, who do I'm excited to work with? Who am I passionate to help? And I know even if I have someone who doesn't have the money, I can have the profit. Like I help a girl from the day that I started, now 2 years. She moved from zero. She was living in Berlin. She moved from zero, and now she started earning 3,000 euros in her business as a coach. She was heartbroken, health issues, all chronic issues, not even be able to left her ex and cut that relationship, change her life, manifest the money to continue coaching. Until now, like she manifests a lot of money to start, like keep coaching with me. And now she start earning 3,000 per month. Like that really excited me, even though she doesn't have money. And I saw that she didn't have the money, but it still bring me the profits, because she was so committed on this work, and she was willing to take whatever it needs to continue. And she manifests through her job and through her parents. Her parents abandoned her like 18 years ago when she was a baby. Like not abandoned, but like it literally, she didn't live with her parents. She lived with her aunts. And out of nowhere, her parents started giving her money. And people start wanting to give her jewelry. And she asked, hey, don't give me jewelry, just give me some money exchange so that I can pay for my coach. She literally told her people that. So when there's a will, there's a way. I mean, it's really, really that. What about you, Michelle? What does it mean for these three elements to go together for you?
Yeah, I think you know, in one of my coaching program where I take women from no idea to starting the business. So the process that we go through is to discover what's that one business idea, right? And very often they'll go, oh, okay, I want to do this, but then but I don't know where the money will come from. I don't know if people are willing to pay for that. But we always take the step of, I always ask them, is this something that you're excited about? And because at the end of the day, you have to be excited about that before we move on to the next stage and find out whether this thing that you're doing, whatever value that you're giving out to the world, there is a value and people are willing to exchange money for it, right? And then because if you're not excited first, if you're not your passion is not in it, or let's start with purpose. I agree wholeheartedly with what Murshidah just said. It has to start with purpose. If you can find the purpose within yourself, and if you wholeheartedly believe that you're not selling some crappy products to other people, there will be people who are willing to pay you, but you need to believe it in it yourself. So I think, yeah, that's right. So it will be purpose. And then when you enjoy doing such a thing, the profit will come. I mean, like, you know, that there is a cliche that, you know, you never work a day in your life, you love what you do. It is a cliche for a reason, because it's true, right? And I think, like, you know, all three of you are amazing, and when you share your story, it's absolutely show that when you love what you do, the money will come. You don't really have to think so hard about it.
I'll
right?
look for it.
I love to say about, oh, you know, I've done my all, and now I just leave it to the universe. It's easy to say, but for a lot of people who've been told all their life that, you know, you need to work hard to give all you can, and then when they do that, they have this attachment to the outcome, right? So it's like when we say detach from the outcome, you just do your best. I'm not telling you to just lay back and just wait for universe to, you know, the money to drop. It doesn't happen that way. You give your best, and then whatever happens. Is, you know, I'm still practicing. I wouldn't say, you know, I've mastered this. For me, it's like some days I'm just like, oh my God, you know, I've done so much, but when is it coming? I'm still waiting here, right? Or some days like, oh wow, you know, Stripe just paid me a payment. I thought, you know, that's it for the day. Oh, it come in the second time. Oh my God, the third time. It's like, wow, hold on, right? So I used to be just like, oh, Stripe comes in and just like close it, right? And what I've learned is that, you know, I actually open it up now and kind of like, thank you, Stripe. Thank you for sending me money. And I find that I just like started this like some months ago, like when I heard it somewhere that, you know, you should be appreciative instead of just like, yeah, you know, I should be compensated. Like, so I literally now, every time, you know, someone signs up, instead of just like, oh, another sign up, or like, oh, you know, it's coming in, I'll actually like open it and like, oh, thank you so much, instead of just delete, right? Oh, thank you. It works amazingly.
I know it works because last year, the beginning of last year, I did this with my VA. So literally, I think one small manifestation tips here before we move to the next questions. I literally told her to send me PayPal notifications because I use PayPal, and I asked her to set it up like random numbers, like, oh, like she was like, universe send you 1,000 today, or like tomorrow is like someone loving you send you like 5,000. And the thing is, I started to believe in that because my eyes see it, and then I don't need it right now. Let's just say it, I don't need it right now, but it's do coming just regularly as we did play the game this time last year actually. Or like even like earlier this time last year. But yeah, it was really funny because our eyes need to see that, to believe that whatever we're doing is gonna bring that profits back, right? Just believing in it, like you're gonna be compensated for whatever you were doing. And I love that appreciation exercise because I do that every single day. Like, oh, PayPal, yay, thank you. And I'm now going to my inbox expecting miracles. So I wouldn't say expect everything else, but I would say everyone expect miracles. The other day, my clients told me, oh, I signed up next client is paying full for 3 months. I was like, oh, nice. Expecting to have more coming in. And she was like, no, it's not going to be easy and it's going to be slowing down. I was like, no, don't expect yourself to slow down. Expect it to speed up. I mean, expect miracle to start coming in. Like people were so conditioned to think that, oh, it's just one hit luck, but it's not. If you learn how to repeat the same actions and the same energy and the same mindset, universe would repeat that again and again and again to you. I believe so. So I think this conversation is so far, and we're gonna come to the end of the questions, and that would be each one of you send one tips so that it would help the listener here in whatever phase they are to ignite that purpose or passions, or like just one tip to start this journey that they know they wanted to take but so hesitant to be on because they don't know if the money would be enough to cover the whole journey? What would you give them as a one tip? I think Michelle would be first.
Well, I think what has changed for me, made the biggest changes for me, is the money mindset, right? The scarcity versus abundance, and coming from a family where when we were younger we used to struggle. You know, there were days where I remember being 5-6 years old and being acutely aware that, you know, we may not have enough money to last a week. And that's, you know, so I sort of grew up with this scarcity mindset. You know, I worked hard in every job, every profession that I've been in. And I also felt, to some degree, I don't know, innately, I felt lucky to be me since I was a very young girl. And I think, yeah, the biggest changes was when I attended a money mindset program, and I realized that there is an abundance in the world. And once I started seeing things differently, and it's like, it's okay to spend money. I still don't spend unnecessarily, but I used to be such a Scrooge, right? I'm very tight with money. It's like, even though I can afford it, I will find the cheapest option. Like, I need to find a deal before, I need to make sure I ask for discount.
It is a skill to have, Michelle.
But then now I realize that, you know, what goes around comes around, right? If I'm being tight with my money, how can I expect my customer to be open, right? If I go into a sales conversation, or if I meet someone and thinking that person is trying to take advantage of me, that person's going to get the same vibe, right? So I think what you put out in the world really comes back to you. And just having this abundance mindset. For example, you know, during the circuit breaker, what is this, like lockdown in Singapore? It's called circuit breaker. We were living in a 2-bedroom apartment last year, which was doing really well. You know, it's perfect location. We loved it, but then we realized the space is really tight for like 3 kids. You know, my husband, myself, and our live-in helper. So no, we needed someplace bigger, and we always thought we may not be able to afford into the location that we just moved. Well, we moved in late last year, so we've been here for more than 7 months. We're like, this location that we really wanted, and, you know, at a price point that we can afford. And then it was a really hard decision. Like, oh my God, are we really want to commit to that, right? But, you know, I told myself, I deserve this. I think, you know, you have to be that in order and be appreciative of what you are and trust in yourself. And now that we've been living here for 7 months, I felt like, you know, because I have the own space to myself, I have the space to create, you know, my business has like tripled since last year. And the rent is like, you know, we're still renting. It's like, it's nothing. Okay, it's nothing. And even though it's like way, at that time before we moved, it was like, oh my God, this is like way above. It's like a dream place, you know. It's like more than almost like 2.5 square feet. In Singapore, it's massive. Okay, this is like near like Orchard Road, which is like the heart of Singapore. Like, everyone wants to be there. And yeah, so it's amazing. So I think, like, start with knowing that you deserve it, appreciate what you want, what you have, and then you have more. So that's my one tip.
I love that. Money mindset is really crucial, and really deservingness. Like, give yourself the permission to stretch. I also manifested a car. I think everyone here knows, but I haven't shared publicly. So I got a I think October last year, I wanted to have a car to move around, and I was looking at the $10,000 kind of car, and it doesn't excite me. I couldn't find anyone fit me, and I was like, what do I really want? And I know immediately I want a luxury car. I want something really like 7-seater, luxuries with full features and everything. And once I open up to the idea, and that is like 10x out of my budget. And I was like, all right, let's accept that I want that first. Just accept it, decide. And when I decided, immediately the next day, no kidding, 2 people come to me and say, I'm selling my car. I didn't even like open up the conversation. Like, they just, I am selling my car. The other one is selling a Lexus, and other one is selling a BMW. I was like, wow. And then my budget was about 20K to pay for the first payment. And all of them without me asking, said, but I can break it down and the first payment can be about 20K. I was like, wow, universe like in my mind and like kind of manifested for me. So because I wanted a seven-seater, so I took the Lexus. And the thing is, the Lexus have the same plate number with our car in Vietnam. We have a good car in Vietnam as well, and the same plate number. And when I checked the Rachel, the registration, it was registered on my birthday, on my
Wow.
birth date.
Wow.
And I was like, how can universe? Are you kidding? Like, she's one of my family friends, but like, I was like, how are you kidding? And the thing is, the car value at 10x of my budget, but she sold it for only half of that.
Nice.
A Lexus for 20K down payment, and then the next one is like another 40K. That's it. And I was like, wow, it's in Vietnam. It would cost me around 250,000 to buy that car. And I was
Well done.
I know. And the thing is, I was sleepless for a week. I was like, universe, I don't think I can make the money. I was like shaking. At that time, 10K was my normal range monthly. I can not work, but still have 10K. But if I look at my investments and other stuff, it wouldn't be enough for this car. I was like, universe, if it is really meant for me, send me a sign, confirm this for me without me even like doubting it. Guess what? On the day that I picked up the car, she drove it to my house and she left it there. But she asked me, "Hey, can you drive me to the petrol so I can fuel the car for you?" I said, "All right, let me do it." And in this petrol station, we usually bypass it. But in this petrol station, that was the first time I ever saw a flock of parrots, white parrots,
Wow.
hanging around my car. And I have a photo here. I'm not going to upload it later, but it's landing on the mirror of the car. And if you do anything, they would not leave. They were just knocking on the door, looking at me like, hey, this is yours. And you know what? That birth signs, when I search, is really like a confirmation that abundance is coming. I was like, universe, you cannot be more louder than this. I accept this challenge. I live up to this. And yeah, like I think by February this year, I already paid off that car, even like faster than she expected me to pay by June. I was like, because I bought that car, it's really up level my energy, give me so much more abundant energy to really triple, like also the same triple my quarter. I was like, amazing, like it's so easy, and I work half and was like, oh. So everyone, it's not we preach that you have to invest in yourself, but sometimes when you give yourself that permissions to up level that money spending and money minds energy, you would see a new world. You'll see a new world. Yeah. I think Naama have more story about manifestation. She's like a manifestor here. Naama, what would you say to that person who are hesitant to go into this journey? What would you say to her?
Well, first of all, I think we're all manifestors, all of us in
know.
the world, and here listening to all the ladies, really amazing stories, girls. I mean, I would actually want to emphasize on something else, because I think it's very hard to come to a person that hasn't been educated to, most of us, they don't teach us these things at school.
No.
So the first things I want to say is don't feel hard. Don't go hard on yourself because, this feels new or this sounds new or it's overwhelming in the beginning. It could be, if you've never heard about this before, but it's almost like someone's been, or society has this way of concealing the truth. There's so many limiting beliefs about, the way you have to work hard for something. And I mean, I'm a psychologist, so I used to work very, 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 very hard and earn like nothing, honestly. And I was thinking, did I go over a master's? Did I study for, I don't know what, 12, 15 years to be stuck in this place and just, have no life, work like a dog and, come here? So I think the main thing is, of course, again, no disrespect to the actual study or to the actual subject and profession, because it's amazing, but it really depends where you see yourself. And one thing I realized is that we have to give ourselves credit and scale ourselves in a completely different way and a completely different level. So instead of expecting ourselves to be perfect every day, this would be my main tip, because we change every day. There are hormones, there are weather changes, there are things happening around. So we can't be the same. You're not going to wake up tomorrow morning with the same energy level that you had last week. And we end up beating ourselves. You know, I found myself like sometimes, oh, you were more motivated on that day. What happened to you? You know, it's fine. You know, it's fine. Things are going to be changeable. So instead of doing that, I give myself credit for the commitment to the path. And it doesn't mean if one day I'm high or one day I'm low, or, and I think this is like the main tip, and why I'm emphasizing this, because I would have clients that would, let's say, come into this world, right? They come and then they ask for your help, and they try out something and it works for 1 month, 2 months, and then, you know, the motivational batteries go down, and you're like, that's it, I tried it, it's not working. You know, ciao, I can't do this. You know, it works for other people, but it doesn't work for me. And I'm thinking, yeah, because sure, there's a recipe in the world that says only Mai can have it, or only Naama can have it, or only Michelle can have it, or, you know, or no, of course not. You know, we all work on the same science and on the same physics, but it's unbelievable to think that you've been practicing, you've been like, your brain's been wired to think the same way for 20 years, for 30 years, and now you expect it to just, you know, switch in 1 month. Good luck. You know, good luck with that. So I just wanted to emphasize this, because I'm sure people listening to it are saying, oh, it's very nice on paper, but how does it actually happen? You know, it happens when you're committed to being who you are, when you're committed to that passion of yours, when you're thinking, you know, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm just going to stay here. And that takes you to the next level, because you wake up in the morning, and I give myself a prize for still being there. Yeah. Not necessarily for my performance when I'm low. You know, when I'm low, there's no point of trying to work so hard in that day, because it's not going, you know, it's kind of like cooking when you're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And saying, no, but I have to do all of this. No, just make yourself a salad and settle for that, you know, because if you try all of it, it's going to taste bad. I mean, come on. It's not worth your trouble in the kitchen today. You know, it's kind of like settle down and think about, on a day like this, I want to try to do something even small for myself, be it a walk in the park, just having time for a breather, for a cup of tea, for, I don't know, just to set your mind and go slow to just raise those vitality levels today. Raise those vitality levels and give yourself a nice pat on the shoulder for staying on the path, even when you don't feel good. And believe me, that's going to get you skyrocketing in no time, because you've been there, because you didn't let yourself down. So today you're low, but then the next day, if you're still on the path, if you still kind of stayed, even with your low energies, giving yourself the energy back, doing something nice. So the other day, my vitality levels are going to be better. And then I can actually take more action steps. But it's about really staying present and really staying connected to what's going on with you, you know, in the process, and then just see it. It's kind of like, you know, what you just said, it's way beyond my budget. I don't know, but I see all these signs, and I'm just going to breathe into the place that I'm at today, and then see what happens tomorrow, and see what happens tomorrow. And this commitment, I think, to the path is what takes you step by step to the next level, knowing that you're not going to shine every day, but you are going to shine in the big picture. And that's just fine. That's just perfect. This is being human.
Oh, I love that.
This would be my tip.
Yeah, and be patient and loving every bit of this process is truly, really, really what I needed in my first year of business. I was so impatient. I was like, oh, when am I going to be able to make this? I'm so frustrated. I'm sure it's related to a lot of new coaches, new entrepreneurs out there. But I always have to remind my client, my students, like, be patient. Like, you have to count how far you have steps, because if you forget that, your brain will stop you right here and you can't move forward. And this is exactly what I infuse into my gifts, which I shared in the end of this episode, is like, it's the 7th day where I give some teaching, and I give the journal to unblock and to really work around the brain block, because our brain always blocks us when we wanted to change, when we wanted to step out, when we wanted to go to the unfamiliar, because in our DNA, we're still a caveman. We're still afraid of the dark, and we're still afraid to step out of our own territory. and that zone is unknown, and unknown is not safe, and not safe is like you freeze here. But while staying safe is not happiness, right? Staying safe doesn't give you fulfillment. Everyone who's listening and everyone here knows that. So the only question is, are you willing to face that fear and step out of your comfort zone and also like embrace this journey instead of just looking over to the destination and abandon your own self in this journey? It's not worth it, isn't it? So thank you, Naama, for that. Yeah, Murshidah, please.
Oh no, I you know what Naama said, what Michelle said, and a lot of these memories came to me. The first time I wanted to invest in a coach, I think I shared this with my community, and you were there yesterday, right, Mai? It was like a $500 package, and it was like a 4-week program, $500 US, and I had to ask, do you have a payment plan for $500? And even then, my credit card was like, it didn't go through with the payment plan because, you know, I maxed out everything with my work, and I was not good with my money mindset yet at that time when I wanted to invest in a coach, right? So, but I set an intention, okay, so I'm going to do the work, and I really want to believe in whatever the coach is teaching me. I'm going to apply. And I did apply, and I made like a 3 times more than that $500, right? And I reinvested, and I got into DLA like, you know, a couple of times. And then after that, I remember when I wanted to invest in the higher level one, which is Queen, right? Physically, my body was like, oh my God, I wanted to throw up. I told the coach at that time, I said, you know, I put in like my credit card, and now I want to go throw up. I said, I was like, physically, I felt really sick because it was really shaking my whole reality of, what am I doing? This is going to work. But then again, I had that mantra that I practice on, which is money is a renewable resource. And I keep saying that. And I said, look, that first 500 that was gone like 3 years ago, look where it got me now. And those, you know, the coaching programs that I did after that was like, look where it got me now. So I was ready to go for the next normal, which is something was a bigger thing, you know. And I would like to see where it's going to bring me. And there it went. And now we're in a even higher package of coaching, you know, I hired a higher end coach than before. It was more that, and it became normal. It became something like, yes, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but, you know, I am leveling up, and I'm taking more people with me to make sure that they level up, that they get into that new normal of money manifestation and money beliefs, and so that they can be able to contribute to others as well. So that was that breakthrough. That initial discomfort was the one that I must right now begin to recognize and make friends with it, right? So the other thing, and I love what Michelle was saying about the money mindset, and I love about what Naama was saying about the manifestations and that belief, and that was where I took myself step by step, and where I'm taking my clients as well to step by step. And the other thing that I just want to add on to all of this amazing sharing is that energy, that emotion of joy, that emotion of happiness and excitement in doing whatever you are doing, and that gratitude has to come in at different levels, like that celebration, you know, you get in your stripe, money, yeah, enjoy, you know. And I instill this celebratory culture in my community as well. And initially it was, people were so uncomfortable. Ooh, I don't want to show off, you know. And I said, just post it there and see what happens. Because I put the SOPs up, right? You got to celebrate, you know, when somebody else celebrate with them. And people started celebrating, and they were posting all their successes that they've been keeping quiet for a long time. And that created more and more abundance. So I believe in celebrating instead of like putting people down. When you see somebody else successful, make it a habit. When you see another woman or another man who's successful, yay, congratulations, you know, because you are acknowledging abundance. You are acknowledging that it is good. So that makes you worthy to receive as well, right? And I remember the time when my roadmap took from that 20,000 to that 5,000 US dollars amount of money, right? I remember I didn't get 5,000 right away. I got about 1,000 ringgit, which is like about 300 US dollars initially, because I introduced people, and then after that, they gave me commission. I'm like, wow, you know, I got 1,000 ringgit immediately within one day, and it felt good. And what did I do with the money? I didn't keep it and say, yeah, I got to save it to rent a house and all that. I bought myself a plate of oily noodles, mee goreng mama, and Sungai Wang, Michelle. It was like, so shocked. It felt so good. So celebrate when that happens. A lot of more abundance started coming in. It makes it fun to receive. So be grateful, be happy, be joyful in whatever you are doing. Forgive yourself, because sometimes in the past, we do make mistakes, but we've got to forgive ourselves, forgive our experiences as well. Not everybody is out there to cheat you or get you, right? Or treat you like rubbish, So you just forgive experiences and always start something like a child, a new day. That let's have fun with it. So that's what I'd like to share.
Yeah, I love that curious. Like Michelle was like, yay. And me too. Like I now really understand the benefit of celebrations. I mean, that is why I was meditating about this launching. I was like, well, what is that excitement that can bring me to this level? And I saw, the celebration with collaboration. That's why you guys here. And tomorrow I have a celebration of my own clients' growth. And I message every single one that I interview, and I thank them. And if they want to join the celebration, they can come along. And it's really a party virtually for me. And celebrating every single small step we make also counts. Like I remember last year I was buying this t-shirt of about $50 in Australia, and I was like, oh, this is for my next event. For me now, like I can go and buy whatever I want and I don't need an event to buy for it. Like I got this blouse like 2 weeks ago, even before I know that I'm gonna wear it. So it just, you're gonna be in a tight place sometime, but it's not gonna be forever. Don't expect yourself to stay here forever. Like you never going to start your business forever. Everyone, when they give birth, they will think, oh, this is the space where my baby is like this forever. Like I'm gonna feeding her every 3 hours and she's gonna not sleeping at night. It's not forever. It's only 3 months. For some of you, it might be 3 months, 6 months, or a year, but it's not forever. So expect yourself to have miracles and grow. And if you don't abandon yourself and stay committed to the path, I love that, Naama, you are going to get there with us. This is why we do what we do, right? We're gonna go and get there with us. So I love you guys so much. Please stay connected with all of the amazing people here. Oh, thank you, love. And Michelle is at the Chill Mom Boss. Murshidah is at Murshidah Said, and Naama is at One Hemisphere. I tag them in the Instagram. I tag them on the Facebook. Please stay connected with all of these amazing coaches, mentors who have amazing mindset, who have done it. Learn from them. If you feel called, do review this podcast, because I'm giving away a live courses next week. 7 days is live running by me. Everyone changed in my energy. Literally everyone received the miracle. The other day my content coach was like giving me about 20 minutes extra. And when she got off the call, she messaged me, hey, my boy got into a school where the rate is like 1 over like 300 people. I was like, yeah, when you are in my energy, you really receive miracles. So I know that. And if you guys wanted to receive that next 7 days pumped up success, it's including journal prompts, reflective questions, and also live training from me. Go ahead and reviews, share this podcast. Please #EmpowerMePodcast so that we can give to you that gift. But thank you so much, every one of you here. I appreciate every single one of you who are here, Michelle, Murshidah, Naama, and all collaborations that I've made. Some of them are busy today, so they couldn't make it. And all the listeners who have made 50,000 possible. Let's see what's next for Impact Muse this season. But thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.